I'm Nancy Colina. I'm with the Colina Foundation, and we've had an association with First Step for a number of years, just as someone who's interested in cutting down on domestic violence.
I'm John Colina, and as far as I can tell, we go back to 1999 as far as financial support.
Oh, I think we had them at our church doing a program on domestic violence for an educational class, and I think that may have been our first involvement with them, and then from there it grew.
What we really focused on was whenever there are tragedies or challenges within a family, a lot of times the kids are the innocent victims and they become secondary as the adults try to work their situations out. And we were concerned about the kids. We were saying, they can't be the forgotten ones. And if mom has to flee, where are the kids going to get their education? Where are they going to get the kinds of support that they need? I mean, they're in a crisis mode as much or more as the adults are. So we've got to make sure those kids are taken care of. And we both began our professional careers in education. And so we were drawn to children. And as you begin to work with children, you realize you have to deal with the entire environment they're in. So you've got to be a family-oriented operation as well as a child-oriented. So that's sort of the broad picture of what we're trying to do.
And if you look at the long view, the children are the future of the country. And if they're traumatized, they need steps to help overcome that trauma. They need support if they're going to be strengthened so that they can be the leaders of tomorrow and lead us into a stronger future.
And what worse trauma than having mom and dad in some kind of a disastrous relationship? I just grieve for kids that are in that kind of situation.
Well, it's always a challenge finding funds, and today even more so than ever, funds are being cut every which way from every quarter possible. So funding is always a challenge, and of course everything takes funds. It's hard to do a lot with a little, which is what First Step is trying to do always, and make the biggest impact. So of course that, I would say, is the first challenge. Another challenge is awareness, that it's not just something that should be shut away and not talked about. Violence needs to be brought out into the open. Nowadays they're finding violence in the schools, in the dating situation, and First Step is addressing dating violence and trying to, because those teenagers then grow up to be adults who abuse others. So that all needs to be looked at and addressed while it's still in a correctable stage.
I think one of the challenges now is that we're involved with some agencies that provide support for younger children, and there's a vast increase in the amount of trauma being acted out in even preschools. So Head Start's having trouble, private preschools are having trouble, where actually 3- and 4-year-olds are being kicked out of the daycare situation because of the violence that they bring to the classroom. So when we talk of a family situation, that has to be where some of that acting out is coming from.
And kids learn that violence is an acceptable way to solve problems. That carries over. So we really need to break that whole thought process, that whole chain of what is acceptable behavior and what isn't.
As far as on the receiving end where the kids are, it is increasing. We've had people, professionals, say it's increasing. We've had daycare teachers saying that, in fact, the Southeast Michigan Early Childhood Funders Group is doing some pilot programs all throughout Wayne County to train preschool teachers and Head Start teachers on how to deal with this new phenomena. It's really much increase over what it was 10, 15 years ago.
I don't think we've seen that much trauma in the school setting as we do now. I don't think we've seen that much before.
If you don't stop it then, by the
Yeah.
time they're teenagers.
Yeah.
I would hope they would be strengthened to be in a position to really have a major impact. Well, I know they do have a major impact, but I would like to see it be a sustainable thing, that they are able to do whatever needs to be done. They have a beautiful facility, they have wonderful staff. They do a terrific job. And I guess I would just like to see, I'd love to see us the day and age where there was no need for that. That's not going to happen. So just continued success and capability of being able to address that.
Yeah, you stole my line. I was going to say, ideally, it would be not having to have those kinds of resources devoted to domestic violence anymore, but I agree with Nancy. It might happen someday, but we're not going to see it in her lifetime. So it's a problem complex enough that no one agency can solve it. So I would hope that First Step can expand and grow, but also partner. So you have things like Kids Talk, which is with kids 0 to 18 that have had sexual abuse, helping them to adapt and adjust to it so that they can become healthy adults. Dealing with the courts, dealing with the prosecutors, with the school systems. It really takes the entire structure of our society to deal with this issue. So go get them start, go ahead, get them First Step, go get them whoever is trying to make a difference.
Yeah, I would just say congratulations to all the staff and all the people who've worked so hard through so many years to really make this something that has an impact. There's a selfless staff that has done wonderful work, so kudos to y'all.
And the satellite efforts to outreach to all of the communities in Wayne County, I think is very noble and something that has to continue.
Okay.